So let's go to our daily debate. I think now is a good time to talk about that. That way we can put a bow a little bit on UFC 235, the press conference that took place. If you don't know, March 2nd is the event with John Jones defending against Anthony Smith, Tyron Woodley defending against Kamaru Usman. But there's some other quality matchups here. And so they had this press conference yesterday. We want to know which matchup is the most on the rise coming out of the first UFC 235 press conference. The reason we say first is on fight week, there'll be others. Here are the choices, guys. Jones Smith, Woodley Usman, Askren Lawler, or Garbrandt Munoz. Go ahead, Goes.
Askren Lawler. But not because of that particular matchup, but because of what can come from it. Ben Askren didn't sell me on that fight. He sold me on things to come.
Okay.
And I need to watch this fight to see what is going to be next for him. And whoever it is, I'm going to be excited because of the way Ben Askren performed at that press conference.
How about you, Dan?
It's interesting, you know, the way it's formatted. It kind of, I guess, we're asked on the strength of the matchup itself, but I can't argue with Goes in the sense of Askren overdid his part and even did Robbie's part for him in the sense of it got people interested, and you could definitely make that argument. But for me, it was probably Woodley and Usman. You're not sure what to expect from Usman. He's still kind of getting on that big stage, kind of like you talk about, George. There's a certain levels to that stage, and he's definitely on it now, but it's his first time being on that big of a stage. And he was at least getting Woodley to come out of his shell, where we know Woodley pretty well, but we were even getting to see certain sides of Woodley, which was really nice. And I think it's going to do him well as far as his fan base and strengthening that for the current champ.
I'm with you, Dan. I also got excited about Woodley versus Usman. Both of those guys had words to say to each other. They were chirping. And I think it's going to be interesting with the mental warfare. Woodley went down a path that may come back to bite him. Even though Woodley won, probably 10-8 maybe, but 10-9 at least, by playing the whole LL Cool J card and then reminding him of, the skins that he has on his wall.
Right.
But Usman started to get into it, but he never had a chance to finish because he didn't have that voice that just thunders on the mic. He's more of a smooth guy, an R&B guy, but he was starting to go down the path of saying you had the least amount of strikes ever in a fight. Now that's something he could have cozied up to Dana with if he wanted to, because Dana was very vocal about Maia versus Woodley. Woodley was really quick and putting that fire out quickly and saying, hey, rotator cuff, broken hand, and he kind of gave some explanations there. But I'm telling you, Usman can have a little bit of fun with that if they get in a situation where they have to go off, whether they do a radio tour or a car wash on ESPN or whatever, and he can bring that up. I know it chides Woodley a little bit because he's one of those guys that even as bright as he is, and even though he's an expert, smart smack talker, he can't get away from criticism sometimes. So I'll be interested to see part 2 of that as we lead up to. But yeah, I'm pumped up about that one. I am pumped up about Askren Lawler because I guess you put it great. I didn't even think about that. The future of what it could hold. Is Lawler going to be back? He says he feels good after ACL. Or is Askren the real thing and he can take out a former UFC champ? We will see. Garbrandt and Munoz was kumbaya between those two. And Jones and Smith just didn't have much going on as well. All right, thank you to 1,249 of you that voted. Here are the results. It was a 2-horse race, guys. At the wire, Askren versus Lawler got 43%.
Wow.
Woodley versus Usman got 42%.
Wow.
Really?
Down the wire.
13% went to Jones and Smith, and Garbrandt and Munoz got 2%.
I'm blaming the Ross Perot faction who voted for Garbrandt and Munoz for my pick not coming through there.
2% of, let me see. If it's just 1,200, that means 120 is 10%. That means that 12 is 1%. That means 24 people thought Garbrandt and Munoz. What was so exciting about that?
I don't know.
Huh. They were just so nice to
Let's
each
see
other.
how many family members they have.
Maybe it's a sympathy vote because they're such nice guys. Maybe that's a sympathy vote, I guess, huh?
That's our daily debate.
All right.
Brought to you by the Junkie Radio team.